is up, toy fans? And this is now episode 21 of our podcast, Talking Toys, where we'll be talking about the future of the toy industry and the psychology of collecting and what kind of collector are you? I'm your host, Brock Lauer, and my co-host,
Kyle Walters.
And we're glad to be back. I know it's been a very long time since we've done one of these. I've been dealing with some personal issues as well as I just moved, so I've been dealing with a lot of moving things and just life stuff. Unfortunately, that took a lot more time than I wanted it to take, and I had to do that stuff. But we're back, we're fresh. After a couple months, we're sorry for the delay. Just a quick, your support really does help. Watching our shorts, our episodes, and our podcast as well. And so it is great to be back. We're glad to be back, and we have a lot to discuss. Obviously, it's been a while. We have a couple updates for you, but just for the channel's sake, we do appreciate your support. Listening to our podcast, watching our little videos, shorts, or hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube for the Talking Toys podcast channel. Also check us out on SoundCloud as well. And also for any news and updates, check our Facebook page, Talking Toys. So just getting right into the updates here. Obviously everybody knows by now that the HasLab Galactus figure was funded. Came with a Silver Surfer and a Frankie Ray figure, Dr. Doomhead, and another Herald that has LED lights. It's 32 inches tall. It has the swappable faceplate accessories, and it got to 14,000. It was a HasLab goal, and it was pretty impressive. It's taller than the Sentinel, and it was backed by over 30,000 fans, unlocking all 4 tiers. I ordered one myself. Kyle, did you order one? A HasLab Galactus figure?
I did not. I do want one, but money was a little tight at the time.
It was a tough.
I am excited, but I will say this: they better fix those upper leg thigh area joints.
Yeah.
Or they're gonna make a lot of people mad, because it's like when you get a hot toy.
Yeah.
Because hot toys are comparable in that price point.
Yeah.
You expect perfection.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I like my Sentinel. I'm happy with my Sentinel. I want to mess around with it a little more. It's really good. But the legs being loose is
those were
a little annoying.
And it became top heavy, and he kind of was doing the splits, and that's how I was screwing around with mine. Was yours doing the same thing?
Yeah. So they need to fix that, especially if they want Silver Surfer to be beautifully held in there.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. I'm really excited about possibilities, because I would love a classic Giant Man, like a huge, obnoxiously huge Giant Man. Fin Fang Foom would be cool. But then I can't really think of anyone else who's really tall that I would really, really want. I don't know. I can't think of it right now.
I mean, you got to think of like how many people would actually buy said figure.
Right.
I mean, Galactus and the Sentinel were pretty much, those were going to be backed. But if you were to make, I don't know, like let's say a hypothetical Eternity or something like that, no one's going to be buying that. Or, like certain like I'd say the Giant Man. If you did like a Giant Man, you wouldn't do one really off the scale of like Galactus, but I could see that being like a deluxe figure, more along the lines of being the scale of like that Surtur figure or something like that.
Oh, that could be cool.
Because I could see that being like, with the Surtur, with how they did Surtur, I could see how they would do Giant Man that way as a Marvel Legends form.
Well, I know they ultimately, I'm sure it annoyed them with, what was that, Unicron from the Transformers, where they had to expand that line.
Yeah.
Or expand the dates. I'm sure that annoyed them, but it's just like, some things are a lot easier to fund than others. Like you said, the Jabba sail barge.
Yeah. And
super easy to fund.
And the Galactus took a little while. Like, not everybody jumped on.
Yeah, Galactus took longer than the Sentinel, but I think one thing that a lot of people pointed out that helped the Sentinel
yeah.
was if your pockets were deep enough, you could buy like 4 Sentinels. No one wants 4 Galactuses.
No, and yeah, you're right. That was part of it. You couldn't army build this. You couldn't army build this character, and really, I ordered the Sentinel. I mean, not the Sentinel, the Galactus, and it was money was tight. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was a tight thing. I mean, it wasn't as expensive as I thought it was gonna be, but I mean, the time of year for me, like it was like odd time of the year for me to like just kind of jump on the Sentinel. I canceled one of the Comic Cons I was going to go to just because I could afford it because I couldn't really afford not to order this the Galactus. So it looks like a great looking figure. I love the design. I love the accessories that come with it. I love the LED light function. I like the swappable faceplates. Is there certain? I mean, I know you're not getting the figure, but is it what stands out to you about the figure that you like more or less?
I don't know. I like the overall aesthetic. I think the sculpting is really nice.
Yeah, I think the details, how they made the costume, were really well done.
It looks more detailed than like most comic book versions. But moving on to more updates, Marvel Legends is releasing a 3-pack, a Captain Britain 3-pack of Captain Britain, Marvel's Shadowcat, and Marvel's Megan. That'll be coming out, as well as
Marvel's Megan. I don't know that.
Megan or whatever, I don't know. And then they're also coming out with a Shield Soldier 2-pack. Comes with like 3 alternate heads, multiple guns, and also multiple hands. Going down the line, Lego is making a Batmobile tumbler set, over 2,000 pieces, like 2,049 pieces from the Dark Knight trilogy. So that's another update. And also, new Marvel Legends Retro Wave came out with the characters Armored Spider-Man, Shocker, a new Hobgoblin figure, and Hammerhead with the suit with the pinstripes, and a different Spider-Man figure.
Ben Reilly.
Ben Reilly Spider-Man. There you go. And that's all coming out. The Hammerhead comes with a bat, but I'm glad I waited on that Hammerhead because how long? Remember that chameleon figure?
Yeah, I mean, we knew that was. I mean, when you have in manufacturing, when you have molds, some molds can cost upwards of like 20K. So of course, like that's why it cracks me up when some people within the community are like, "Oh, I hate that they reuse bodies," but it's like they got to reuse parts for certain things in order to be able to then take that money and invest in other molds.
Yeah.
So I know you and I knew right off the bat that when Chameleon came out and he came with the heads for J. Jonah Jameson and Hammerhead, you and I called in, you and I were like, well, that means they're going to eventually release those because it'll save them money. And yep, they did.
That was so long ago.
It was, though. That
It really was.
That Hammerhead, though, looks nice.
Well, what did I tell you? I said I don't want Hammerhead. He has to have pinstripes on the suit. I'm like, you don't have it. I'm like, why are you even like doing it?
And then he looks good. And then I'm really excited for Shocker. The Shocker I have, you have the Shocker, same one as me too. He has the lazy eye.
It's just bad.
Well, he's too orange too.
Yeah, and then whereas this new one, he's perfect amount of yellow.
Yeah.
What the stripes look nice. The one thing that annoys me is Hasbro. If you're listening, I need more effect varieties. I say that ironically as I talked about how molds can be expensive, but you guys have used those same molds since the first Doctor Strange movie came out with effect parts, and they get Shocker should be able, he should shoot something. Shocker wouldn't have these like random mystic type effects, like a Scarlet Witch or Doctor Strange would have. Shocker would want to shoot someone.
Well, it would be like
the electrical burst.
Well, it's not really electrical burst. It's more of like it's shock, so it would be like motion, so it'd be like vibrations.
That works. Yeah.
Because that's really what he is. I know it sounds like electrical. It is, I guess, maybe, but it would be more along the lines if you were to make an effect for him. It would be kind of like, think of like a clear effect, but like with like a bunch of little like sound wave looking kind of things.
Cool.
So like that's kind of like the effect that you would want with him. Like I'm tired of the bubbles on the Mystic effect.
Yeah.
Like I mean they could have done like a spring swirl looking effect with Shocker too. That'd be cool.
Because it's just like I love that effect for that classic Scarlet Witch I have over there. That it looks cool for Scarlet Witch. I don't mind it at all.
Or like web shooting stuff for Spider-Man figures.
Yeah, I'm surprised
Like
they don't
that's
do that
another one. Yeah,
because
that's
the
another one.
import companies do that. I remember Shartimus Prime talked about something really cool, which I don't know if it was his idea or someone else's a couple of years ago. Like the old Toy Biz twisty ties, make that into webbing. I thought that was cool, but I am surprised that like Iron Man, they include Iron Man with all these effects.
Yeah.
But they never include Spider-Man with web shooters. It is kind of weird.
One of my favorite effects is Bullseye with the throwing knives.
That is really cool.
Really good one. They never went back and did that.
But see, the funny thing is with that Bullseye is I only wanted, I don't know why, like it looks cool, but I only wanted the Man Thing arm, and as you can see, I don't know that much about Man Thing, but that Build-A-Figure I still think stands out. Even female Marvel figures, single jointed elbows.
Yeah.
Why don't they have doubles like the males? It's
Yeah.
Hasbro is stubborn with some of their things, but
I
then
think
they
it's
also are
probably just-
amazing with other things.
I think it's just like a production cost thing. You know, they know probably more people would be up in arms if they made male figures because most of the main characters are male, but like
Right.
you know they're gonna make a cut, I guess. I mean, I'm only guessing that that's why they do that, but I mean, you know, like they're gonna do that, I guess, with so much more. But you're right. Yeah, I don't see why they don't do double joints. But I think one of the reasons is it's harder because a lot of their female figures, their arms are thinner.
That's true.
So a male, like here, I'll show you this picture. And this is also more reveals from Marvel Legends. Retro Loki with knives, woman Loki, Marvel Legends figure coming out, and also retro Falcon in the red and white suit. Now this is what I mean here. Just kind of like look at this picture. You can just like look at Loki's arms with compared to girl Loki. You just tell there's a big difference with the arms.
Right. Honestly, as far as these three go, the female Loki I'm so excited about because the A-Force pack that was a Toys R Us exclusive a number of years ago, I never cared about that. But, I always wanted them to release, like a Lady Sif and whatnot. And then, after watching Loki's show on Disney Plus, I was like, oh, I really want a female Loki. And I went to check out eBay prices to buy one from that set. And, scalpers were wanting like $120 for that one figure. And I was like, nah. I was like, I'll wait. I was like, Hasbro's going to want money. They're going to re-release her. Unfortunately, they are. So I know I'm really excited about her. I don't care about that Loki. I thought when he came out in his original wave, I thought he was too beefy for Loki. And I'm iffy about Falcon. I love the Hammerhead. Love Shocker. The silver armor Spider-Man. Very nostalgic because of how he was in the Spider-Man animated series. There's some good ones. What about you?
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna get the Pinhead. Hammerhead. Sorry, I'm thinking Pinstripes.
You were thinking Hellraiser there.
Hammerhead, the Shocker, and probably another Hobgoblin. That's my third Hobgoblin figure if I get this one. Third one.
I'll have to see Hobgoblin in person. Now, granted, the Green Goblin throwback wave, I love that figure.
Yeah.
But the Toy Biz Hobgoblin is my kind of Hobgoblin, and I don't know if any Hobgoblin aesthetically will ever top that.
Yeah.
Articulation-wise, it's improved immensely, but the face, specifically from that Toy Biz Hobgoblin, is so evil and menacing that that's what I want in a Hobgoblin.
Yeah, Mezco needs to do some of the goblins.
I don't know why they haven't.
Because they hate their fans.
Well, I remember Pierre from Mezco. Like
like he still works for them.
When they first skyrocketed,
like left time.
It like remember when they used to actually do interviews, and like when they first skyrocketed in popularity, he was like, oh, one of our goals is to have heroes versus villains, and everyone was like, cool. And then they released all these Spider-Man figures, no Spider-Man villains, and then they're like, oh, their first Spider-Man villain they were going to release is Morbius. And don't get me wrong, Morbius looks great, but I don't really consider Morbius a villain. I consider him more of an anti-hero. But I think if they did the goblins right, and they had Green Goblin and Hobgoblin, and you made a cool it aesthetically cool base wise with the glider,
Yeah.
I think you could make it work. I feel like that's what I think I would want the goblins from Mezco if they could do it. 15
Doc Ock would
years.
be cool too.
Can you imagine Doc Ock? That would be so intense with those tentacles. You could get some really good paint wash on there, some really good bendy wire.
Did you see that Marvel Legends wave, the No Way Home, with the Build-A-Figure Armadillo? Marvel's Armadillo wave.
Yeah, what the hell is the armadillo?
I have no idea.
And it comes with the movie Doctor Strange, Moreland from the comics, from Spider-Verse, another Miles Morales figure, a movie J. Jonah Jameson, and Marvel Shrek, and Spider-Man in his black Marvel Legends outfit. The ones I'm interested in are the Doctor Strange, the J. Jonah Jameson, the Moreland, and that's pretty much it. Now, Moreland was a cool villain. Because he's actually a villain in Spider-Verse, the real comic, because I read that. And he's like these, they kind of remind you of vampires, but they don't really, they're not really vampires. They look like vampires, but like they feed on the Spider-Man from all the Spider-Verses.
Really?
It's like they hunt them and they eat them. Like it's like they do it for sport, but they also like they eat them. It's like they survive off them. So it's a really cool storyline. So I mean, I'm glad they made a figure of him because he's a cool villain in that storyline. Also, Walmart exclusive Doctor Strange Marvel Legends revealed they're finally getting a comic accurate Doctor Strange figure. Comes with mystic effects, an axe, and the wand of Wantub, and two alternate heads where he's looks like a man from the Blue Man Group, but also Doctor Strange when he's has his eyes closed. So
I know you and I are both excited about that. Even though we both own the Mezco, which is fantastic, that Marvel Legends Doctor Strange looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, if you need more description, it comes with the Eye of Agamotto, red cape, the blue tunic, the yellow sachet around his waist, the symbol on his chest, the yellow gloves, the black legs and feet. So you're finally getting comic accurate Doctor Strange. I think it's only custom because we got the comic accurate Dormammu figure not too long ago. But moving right along, a new coming out of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection is the Mighty Morphin Ninja Pink Ranger and the Mighty Morphin Ninja White Ranger. Both came out, they're going to be released by Hasbro. Just a new update there from the Lightning Collection, and also new Black Series figure that will feature George Lucas in a Stormtrooper armor revealed. This kind of caught everyone by surprise with this figure. It's pretty cool, it's not, it wasn't expected, I guess. So now everyone's going to be clamoring for this figure. What do you think about the George Lucas figure?
It looks cool. It's a simple way to make money.
Yeah.
And now on our next update, the new Lego Titanic came out.
How pumped is Jeff?
I showed him that. I asked him if he was gonna buy it. He isn't gonna buy it.
What?
Yeah, it's over a $600 set. It'll be $600.
It's huge. They said it has like I watched a little video, a little Instagram video, and apparently it comes with like 21 bags of shit, and I'm like, damn.
It's the biggest one to scale. It isn't the biggest one piece-wise because there's like the world map, and I think maybe the Coliseum had more pieces, but it's really big. It's $629, $29.99. You can get it at Lego.com or maybe at a Lego store if they're carrying them. And it has over 9,000 pieces, 9,090 pieces to be exact. And it's like 4 feet 5 inches long. And it also has multiple, it's really detailed. It comes with the rigging, it comes with the flags, it comes with the, smokestacks and the lifeboats, and it comes with its own stand that says Titanic. You can also, it comes in multiple parts where you can like unlock it and lock it. You can open it up and you could see like the engines and stuff like that. You could also see like some of the compartments and like this, like the inside, a little bit of the inside to it. It's pretty impressive for a Lego set. I mean, it's just large. It's gonna take up a lot of space. So if you're one of these people that collect a lot of Legos and like a lot of the bigger ones like the Colosseum, or you collect, the world map and Titanic. Obviously, Titanic, they're not gonna make another one. This is pretty much it. If you want a Lego Titanic, you better get it now. It ain't coming back. They ain't making another one. It was very controversial to make the set because it was based off, it's obviously a tragedy. Lego is very, like, I say, protective of their brand about doing stuff like that. That's why they don't do a lot of like war stuff or anything. That's why they don't do a lot of like stuff like Titanic. But to not do the Titanic, I think people are interested in it. My brother is on his he has his own show called Forgotten Places, but it's about stadiums and sports and stuff. Feel free to check it out. But he also has an interest in the Titanic and the tragedy and how that all happened and stuff like that. It's very detailed, very cool. There's a following. Like, people are interested into it from an educational standpoint, and if you're into shipwrecks and diving and stuff like that, there is a following. So, and even like people like that kind of stuff are definitely going to get this set. It's really immaculate how it looks because it looks so detailed. Like, it doesn't look like a Lego set. It's not blocky whatsoever. It's just really cool looking. It's like Lego just does different things every year.
Lego is awesome.
Is new Halloween 2-pack with Dr. Loomis and Michael Myers. And it comes with a lot. It comes with alternate hands, pumpkin with the skull, the knives that Michael Myers uses, a hammer, Dr. Loomis with his gun, and also interchangeable head for Michael Myers with like the crying of the blood head. And also comes with flame effects, like when he in Halloween 2 he's like all covered in fire, which is a pretty, it's a pretty cool effect. I can't believe, like, it almost want, like, I'm almost tempted to buy it just because of what it comes with. And like, there's a picture of it, and like, as you can see, like the guy on fire, that's an effect that you put on the figure of Michael Myers.
NECA is an awesome company. They do a lot of really cool stuff.
And then like, here's what it comes with, and like,
that's probably what, $50 price point.
I'm not sure. But it's cool looking. Like, it's a classic looking set. I mean,
I think overall they're pretty fair with their price points, and I think their sculpting has always been amazing, and how they're improving their articulation.
The original Halloween and the second one, I should say,
like
they're like my two favorite Halloweens, and then the new ones that are coming out now are also really good Halloweens.
Never seen them. I want to.
You never seen them?
Nope.
Are you afraid to see them?
No.
They're really good.
I watched Hellraiser. That was great.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna harsh on you too much because I only have seen the first two Jasons, like Friday the 13th.
You know what movie was shit though? Was Freddy vs. Jason. The movie sucked.
You want to know what was shittier than that?
What?
Jason in Space.
I knew you were gonna say that.
And that's the only other one I've seen. I've seen Jason in Space, and I've seen Friday the 13th Part 1 and 2. I've seen all the Halloweens. And I just saw Scream the other day. That was like pretty hokey. And then I think that's all most of the classic horror stuff. I've seen It and stuff like that.
Well, I saw Charlie Brown Halloween.
Yeah. I'm trying to think like what like anything else like horror wise.
I want the Fog is good.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I liked Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. That was really good. And Secret Window with the Johnny Depp ones. And our final update of the day is the new McFarlane Batman movie series Wave. We'll go right through this. I mean, not all of them are movies, but there's the new McFarlane figures that are coming out, such as the new from the Batman movie, Batman, Robert Pattinson Batman, the Riddler, where he's taped up and is in a coat. He kind of looks like the Zodiac Killer. New Catwoman from the movie, new Batman motorcycle that's in the movie, Batcycle. Joker from Death of the Family with his messed up face, where he takes off his face and uses it as a calling card. New Swamp Thing. Also, there'll be I think an Amazon exclusive Swamp Thing with the antlers. So that one is like so you can get the original Swamp Thing without the antlers, and then there'll be an exclusive Swamp Thing with the antlers. I think that's an Amazon exclusive, that or Walmart exclusive. Gotham by Gaslight black and white Batman figure as well. After saying all those, what'd you think of that line, Kyle, as our final update?
Yeah. I don't
Like, how many Catwoman and Batman figures do you need? I mean, I'm not saying that
it's boring, but at the same time, so many of his figures come with that ugly minimalist stand, and it just NECA's like I prefer 6-inch figures. NECA's figures are technically 6.75 to 7-inch, but NECA
I would rather buy that.
But yeah, NECA makes their figures look good, and it's like McFarlane. So many of his figures, I don't like. I hate the ankles. The ankle, I really. It is the weirdest ankle pivot compared to. I collect so many different companies, and it's the weirdest ankle pivot. Aesthetically, though, I'm gonna call him Hush. I don't want him to be the Riddler. I'm gonna call him Hush.
The Zodiac Riddler.
He looks decent-ish. I like that. I don't get me wrong. One of the cool things McFarlane is doing is I like that he's doing a lot of different vehicles, but I just don't. It just doesn't flow well for me. Plus,
it's like all over the place. It seems
it's so
basic,
scatterbrained and boring. Like, how are you going to give people Teen Titans Cyborg?
Yeah.
From the animated series and no one else. Batman animated and no one else. Superman animated and no one else. And then all of a sudden you want to give, a color change to Superman, and then you want to give that garbage looking Flash and be like, oh, that's the Justice League Flash, and I'm just like,
you're right. It is all over the place with him.
He's an artist too, and a lot of these figures artistically don't look good. The Spawn figures, articulation wise, don't really look that good, but at least sculpt wise, the Spawn figures look really nice.
I didn't make this as an update. Did you see that new McFarlane Batman Deluxe they were gonna make with the rolling cape and stuff like that?
Yeah, year 2.
Yeah, they canceled that. We were gonna make it, and then he canceled it. Maybe not enough stores bought into it.
Well, it's sold out on Target. It was supposed to be a Target exclusive.
They're pulling it. They're not making the figure.
Are you sure?
That's what I heard from JC.
Oh, I don't.
But I could be wrong. But
I don't know because
that's the last I heard. I don't know.
Because McFarlane announced on his website that he was going to push it out to get people their pre-orders. Honestly, though, you know what he did though, which the cape. So the cape, I'm going to give him his props here. The cape, sculpt-wise, is amazing. I love McFarlane. Mick does obnoxiously cool-looking long capes. Amazing.
Yeah.
The long cape for Batman, amazing. Long cape Spawn, amazing.
Yeah.
However, the actual sculpt of the Batman underneath just does not get me.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I don't look at that and I'm not just like, wow, that's a really cool sculpt for a Batman. I look at it and I'm just like, oh, that's basic. Why the hell does he have, unnecessary toe articulation?
Now, a lot of people would say, oh, well, NECA's articulation stinks. Now, would you rather have a figure that's limited articulation-wise, or would you rather have a figure that is not in scale?
That's tough. I'd rather have limited articulation-wise.
Articulation, yeah.
But I definitely want some articulation. But even if you look at my nerd shells, the Phantom figure, occasionally with NECA, he's fallen over because he's top heavy.
Yeah.
And it has its issues, but overall, the sculpt wise is beautiful. And then even the articulation wise, they're doing some really exciting things. And then most importantly, their ankles are pretty good. Like, they don't automatically need a stand to stand up.
But the action figure line's so subpar. It's like they did the animated figures and those sucked. And they didn't stand very well. And I get it, you're testing the market and see how they sell. I get that. But then you're just doing a bunch of Batman, and then you're doing some figures from this and some figures from that, and it's like it's out of scale. The ankles are weird. It's like, how does this guy really? And honestly, those figures sit on the shelf. They're not moving like Marvel Legends.
Logistics are all messed up because even from this standpoint, you got a well, yeah, even also his exclusives are all over the place. Like, you could get regular Swamp Thing, or you could get the Antler Swamp Thing from Amazon. It's like, why would you make the same figure twice with just one difference?
Exactly. Remember I was telling you about Shriek, where I said what you can a lot of people were pissed off about this too, including myself, because I actually, Shriek. I love Batman and Beyond, so it's like to finally see someone do a Shriek figure is actually really cool.
Yeah.
but it's like you can get Shriek with a Build-A-Figure piece and one effect with his mask on,
Like, why would you?
or you can get Shriek with unmasked with 2 effects and no Build-A-Figure piece, and it's like, why not just make it $25 and have everything included?
Yeah. Why even go through the trouble of making another figure just for like 1 or 2 differences?
And then,
I cannot wrap my head around that.
And then he's confusing because he's like, I want to spread out the Batman Beyond wave so your wallet doesn't feel the pinch, blah blah blah. But yet during that whole time he's releasing other figures. And then the Batman Beyond wave is weird because, like, okay, you release Batman Beyond Blight, and people were really excited about Blight, including myself.
Yeah.
Everyone assumed that, like Shriek, it was going to be the animated appearance. And then what happens? It's a later. It's like not the original appearance of Blight. It's like a later appearance.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, the same problem with Lex Luthor. It's like Blight. You've seen the episodes of Blight.
Yeah.
Derek Powers.
Yes. Yeah.
He's in a suit.
Yeah, I did see that one.
And then his face is green. This isn't a hard concept, and instead,
it's just so bad at what he does.
It's just so frustrating. It's just like, put him in a suit.
Remember how excited we were?
So excited.
It's yeah. No, I mean,
because he's an artist and he's a legend.
He's not. He doesn't know toy logistics, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. I mean, he does what he's doing based on what he wants, but he's not. Hey, you know what? That's what happens when you don't listen to the fans and you hate the fans at the same time. You hate them, and when you hate them, you're gonna get crappy products no one's buying. I mean, like, listen, they're not moving like Marvel Legends. They're not hard to find. And then, like, the figures, when you add the figure with the packaging, they're huge. It's ridiculous. I can't. I'm all
right.
I'm all complained out on McFarlane toys.
Whereas, I'm sure if McFarlane, not to be mean, but
no, you could be mean.
I'm sure.
You could be mean. That's why we have this podcast, so
right.
we can be mean to these guys. Because I think
I
should be critical.
Yeah, I would call it more critical and more honest than necessarily mean. But
no, you should be mean because he give you shit product.
Well, because that's my thing too.
But yeah, you could be critical.
It's like I truly believe that if McFarlane had the Gargoyle license, he would say some shit like he did at the beginning of DC. If people were like, "Hey, can you give us folded wings?" He'd be like, "Oh well, I give you more plastic."
That is more plastic.
And it's like, no, but why not? Why can't we have both? We want our cake and we want to eat it too. Whereas NECA's like, hey, we're gonna give you both, and people are like, hell yeah, thank you, NECA.
And you know what? When you do both like that, people sometimes will buy 2 of them.
Exactly.
Smart business strategy.
Really smart with how they're coming about their Gargoyles line.
Yeah, I mean,
2022 is gonna have as of right now, 2021 is just Goliath. Which is a bummer. I was hoping they would release one more in the Christmas season.
Yeah.
But 2022, they've already announced Demona, Bronx, and Thalog.
Yeah.
2022, I think they're gonna just absolutely just. I am so fucking excited. Like.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
And you had some Pop Funkos you wanted to share from Spider-Man the Animated Series.
Yes.
So which ones are coming out of that wave for Pop Funko fans? Since
Pop Funko, their Target exclusives, their pre-sale went like bonkers, but they have Spider-Man animated, Spider-Man, Madam Web, Black Cat, Doc Ock, and Hobgoblin for Funkos. A Hobgoblin with a Hobgoblin shirt.
Mm-hmm.
They have a blue shirt of Madam Web, Black Cat, Doc Ock, and Spider-Man. And then they have a 4-pack pin set of Spider-Man, Doc Ock, Hobgoblin, and Black Cat. When these came out, they sold out pretty much instantaneously except for the blue shirt and Madam Web, which is weird because Madam Web's one of the coolest ones. But
yeah,
those are your Funko updates. And Madam Web, I don't get as many Funkos anymore, but I probably will get Madam Web because, Hasbro still's not giving me my Madam Web. That's what the people want, Hasbro.
Yeah. Well, that wraps up our updates, and now we'll delve into our first topic. Sorry, longer than expected. Psychology of a collector and what kind of collector are you? I mean, we're all different collectors, obviously, but what kind of collector are you? But where are you at in collecting? Like after so many years, what stage are you? Are you at more of the selling period where you want to loosen up on some more stuff? Or are you kind of intimidated by how much you have? I'm in your basement right now. You have a lot. Kind of intimidating, overwhelming. And so we are discussing like where you are as a collector in your life, and obviously there's different types of collectors. You collect cards, and you collect action figures, and you collect comic books, and you collect different types of action figures or Legos and stuff like that. But like where you are in your action figure collecting, life. So Kyle, as a collector, you've been collecting now for a long time, toys, action figures. How have you changed as a collector? What are some of the things from when you started collecting that are different, from when you started to now? But also like how have you changed? Has your taste changed? Have you been turned off by more things now, or is this just like is it overwhelming now that more product kind of floods? What are your opinion on that?
I know when I was a kid, I collected a lot of Pokemon cards, and now I'm very specific about there's still certain ones I want, but I want them to be PSA graded and all that other stuff, and a lot of it is just I love Blastoise. But as far as figures go, you and I, you're the one who actually got me into collecting when we got that Captain America from Target and Strong as well. I still remember. I think it was Strong. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the parachute. And I remember when we first started collecting, you and I sort of collected a little bit of everything. We collected those, some 3 3/4 inch and all that stuff. But then now, as we've started collecting for a while, we have sort of, really focused because obviously, like, as adults, um, can't collect everything. So I know I collect category wise. And I start, with what I deem to be the most important, and I just work my way down. Like for me, first and foremost, Batman. Batman is my favorite thing in the world, in nerd world. So I love Batman. So Batman is main priority with collecting, but like obviously good Batman figures.
Yeah.
I don't want to collect shit. And then the next one is anything Dragon Ball. As you know, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. So I love all my import Dragon Ball figures and all that fun stuff. Those are the two main things, and then after that it would be I love my Gundam model kits, certain random anime that I love, and then I love Marvel and DC as a whole. And then even though I haven't started it yet, I am, as you know, I've already just discussed a little bit here. I am beyond excited to collect NECA gargoyles. I will do everything in my power to help that line have as much staying power as possible. I'm planning on buying 2 or 3 of each figure, one to keep mint on card. I want to eventually make them fly from the ceiling, and then I'd like to also have them on the shelf and just. I'm going to spend too much money on gargoyles figures, but it's going to be so worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point in my collecting where I'm pretty specific, just licensing. Like it's Marvel, Star Wars, some DC, but that's a little bit sketchy because that's spread across between Mezco and the Mattel stuff. But like I'm not so much into DC as much because the figures are all over the place.
Yeah, I agree with that. To interject back there, quality, scale wise,
yeah, you're more specific on quality now
right.
than you were. And now they don't even make 3-inch some figures anymore.
Yeah, because like I like the best representation. That's why, as you know, 2 of my favorite Mezcos, figures in general are the Shazam and the Black Adam.
Yeah.
And then it's funny. I will always. I mean, when I bought that Shazam figure, it caught my eye for like a month.
Yeah.
No one wanted it. There were 3 at one of our local comic shops. Then I went there and there was 2. I bought 1, and then I thought about saying screw it and just buying the other one just for the heck of it. And it was sold out, and then I remember just seeing that thing skyrocket in price because everyone loved the first Shazam movie, and I was like so happy I bought that.
I mean, like for me, it's more along the lines of like it's psychologically, it's more like along the lines of I don't need this stuff. Like I like to collect it, but I don't need like it's easy for me to let go of like a lot of figures than it used to be. I mean, I'm very specific. Like if it's just like a minor movie character now, if it's a minor um, like comic figure, because I got to go through my action figures because I set up my new place, so I got to like go through them now and really start to like thin the herd and as you will like just like if it's just a minor character like Mimbaku, I don't need Mimbaku in my action figure
Right.
collection. You know, like all these like minor characters, I'm just going to flesh out and cycle out, and it's like, well, I'm only going to collect like the main major characters in the comics and in the movies. Like I don't need all these side characters and their girlfriends and stuff that appear in one or two movies and these small characters and stuff like that. Like I'm gonna flesh those characters out and sell those, and so I can have more room for like cooler versions. Like I want to make the space for like the Ironmonger and Obadiah 2-pack, which is a big figure, right? And it's like I got to get rid of my old Ironmonger figure, you know, like
Plus,
that.
you and I, not to interject, but
Yeah.
you and I both want that Diamond Select Titanium Man, which also takes up some space.
Right, and then like stuff like that, and then it's like you have like these exclusives, and then you have the Infinity War stuff, and you have Surtur. It's like okay, like I want like those figures that are coming out, but then also I'm like you have to get rid of some because it's just getting to be too much after collecting for like 10 or some over 10 years now. I mean, I you know from like a Marvel Legends standpoint, because Star Wars is pretty much just now Black Series, you're just collecting like for Marvel Legends, you're collecting movie figures and you have like the Infinity like right now you have the Infinity Saga wave, and then you have the Spider-Man retro wave, and then you have like other retro waves, and then you have like comic accurate figures still coming out, and then you have like the movie stuff coming out. So you have all these like different branches of the same line of Marvel Legends. You want like, oh, I want retro J. Jonah Jameson. Then you want movie J. Jonah Jameson. And then like, how many Spider-Mans do you want? And it's like, well, how many Spider-Mans is too many? Like, which Spider-Mans do you not need, and how many do you like? Can you let go? Because it's like, it's really just like, oh, we get Spider-Man from the movie, and then like gets Spider-Man in a black suit, and then gets Spider-Man in his retro black suit, and then it's like, you could make 100 different Spider-Men right now, and they do so with Iron Man. Like, I'm not gonna buy every single Iron Man figure. I'm not gonna buy the Infinity Saga Iron Man figure. It's just kind of like psychologically, it's just more along the lines of like, if I have less, I'll be a little bit happier and more options to display figures that I'd rather like bring in. Quality wise, when you like go to the DC route, for me, it's more like along the lines of like I'd rather collect DC Mezco figures because you just get more and it's in a better scale, and they have stands and stuff, so it's more worth the money there. Star Wars is just kind of like Black Series, and I'm pretty particular on that. If I didn't like the movie, I'm not buying the figures, and like I'm not interested in any of the Disney stuff anymore. And,
What? You don't want a bunch of Ray figures or
but it's
that
like
kind of crap?
yeah, but it's like you could turn away on a lot of figures now and a lot of stuff, and it's like I'd rather just not collect that, and it's like more along the lines of like just sort of. But it's just like you want effects and you want quality in your figures now as you get older. It's like because it's your money, and it's like you want to it's an investment because I mean and certain figures do go up and certain figures don't, and it's like you just want quality now. It's like I'm not gonna like, and I don't like running around. Here's another thing I've realized about myself now. I really don't like running around looking for figures anymore. I really hate it. I really, really, especially now that gas is what it is now. I really do hate going to store, finding nothing is stocked, and just seeing empty shelves, and just I'll just buy it online. I don't care. I'll pay the shipping.
It is once in a while when you and I are like, hey, let's go to a couple comic shops, do a hunt.
Yeah.
It's fun when it's summertime. But like especially if it's like February and it's like 2 degrees out, same thing. I'd rather just order it. Order it off eBay, Amazon,
you're wasting
Big Bad Toy Store, any of that.
And you're wasting so much gas in the running around and just empty stores. It's just like 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 I'm at the age where like I don't have the time to do that. Like I'll just order it on Amazon. I'll pay the shipping or whatever. I'll have the perks or whatever.
Right, and then it's just it
like
shows up.
Like you and me recently got that Ultron, that comic Ultron.
Yeah.
You're never gonna find that in a store. I haven't seen it in a store.
Well, you might find it in a store, but you'll find it for like $40. You know what I'm saying? At like a comic shop, whereas here we got it for 22.
Yeah, but
shipping.
I mean, like Walmart and Target, they're not carrying that. Like it's funny because it's like, even like the stores don't carry certain waves now. Like they don't carry all the waves. Like I'm trying to think of like a wave that was kind of skipped.
Fat Thor.
Yeah, that was one wave that wasn't seen in major retail stores because I got that through a comic shop.
So wasn't there like a couple years ago a Spidey wave?
Yeah, there probably was. Like that. There wasn't like a long time of when you can like see that kind of stuff because it was just so like even like when they do sell a wave and stuff like that, it's so like brief. It's so like like, oh, it's here, and then if you didn't get it this week, it's gone. Like it's just like, oh, that's it. Like, okay, so what am I supposed to do now? Like, get it, not get it? It's like, oh, well, I have to get it even though I can't afford it or whatever. You said earlier to me before we started, you say you're selling stuff now. Is that just more like of a natural thing for you?
Yes, I get bored with certain things and I just sell them to make room for new ones. Like a lot of Dragon Ball figures that are coming out that I want.
And I've also noticed this about myself is like I'll sell some of my figures for like key issue comic books.
Yeah.
Like so I could get a discount on key issue books and stuff like that. So I because a comic book isn't bad. Like it's nice to have. It doesn't take up a lot of space. So like like there's some like trade value to doing that, getting discounts and stuff like that. But like they're action figures, like go in and out of style, and sometimes they make better versions and stuff like that, like, and I'm more picky too, like it's more along the lines of like I have no interest in the Shang-Chi wave. No one bought the Shang-Chi wave, and I have no interest in the Eternals wave. Like I'm not gonna touch those figures. I mean, I'm not interested, and that's fine because I'm saving money, and there's a nice feeling of like saying, I'll pass on that wave because you don't have to hunt for it. It's a lot of time and it's a lot of money, so just that's the type of collector I'm at. And what about you psychologically? Have you noticed about collecting about yourself? Is it more frustrating as you get older, or is it less frustrating, or?
I think it's fun.
But it's fun, yeah.
I think sometimes it's definitely annoying though.
Yeah, it is. It gets to be like a job. Like it does feel like a job, and you have to be on top of it, and it's hard to make time for. You don't have time to like hunt for stuff, and then also at the same time, you're wasting your time because there's like you rarely find anything in stores.
Especially with Walmart,
Yeah, I mean, and now the shipping crisis and stuff like that going on, so stuff is backed up. I know like my Mexico Wonder Woman's backed up and stuff like that. So, I mean, there are some annoyances, like not. I mean, price isn't like an issue because usually that stuff goes on clearance anyway, but so it's not a huge issue for me. But it's more along the line it's shipping availability, going around and finding the figure, and it just kind of becomes a pain in the butt, like. But that's why we have toy groups like Neotech and stuff like that. People helping you out on price and saving you the time on finding it and stuff like that. So that's also good. I mean, that's what also I've learned about as a collector is just kind of like as you get older you kind of want less but you kind of want better quality stuff. I guess that's where I'm coming in at. And you could always sell the stuff because I always look at toys like this, opened or not. Toys or anything you collect is just money that isn't in the bank.
Right.
Like I mean, granted, like yeah, an open Marvel Legend I'll probably charge, depending on what the type of figure is and the rarity, I'll charge like around 10, 12, $20 if it's a rare figure or in demand. Because I go on that Action Figure 411. You ever subscribe to that one guy's channel, Nerdzoic?
I've heard him. I've listened to him before.
It's a good channel. And he kind of shows you like the marketing, the market value of Marvel Legends and stuff like that. Mostly Marvel Legends, but you could also go on Action Figure 401 and you'll know what action figure is going for at what price. So like the Kang Conqueror figure you got me is skyrocketing in price.
Seriously?
It's like over $70-$80. The Gina Carano figure, like around $100. Like it tells you the market value of the figure right now, and it constantly goes up and down. Like I'm trying to think of like one that went up and down. Like, well, the Kang figure is up there, but also like some of the Loki figures go up and down. Like the movie Loki from Thor Ragnarok went like down a lot and stuff like that. Like it constantly goes up. Like some ones that were hard to find are like easier to find now. Like obviously like retro Spider-Man's hard to find. They didn't have like so much DC ones, but like the Mandalorian with the child Target exclusive is like up there and stuff like that. So like knowing the market value of your figures, I mean depending whether they're open or closed, but it's really key into like understanding, because it's funny because like it's like the stock market. Like certain figures are in demand, certain figures aren't, and then if a remade figure like the Giant Man, like obviously the other one isn't as much in demand, but like you can see a lot of demand for the new one, but like the price of the old one went like down a lot because they rehashed it and stuff like that. So I mean just stuff like that, knowing the market of your figures, the value, always check as many sources as you can. eBay isn't really a good indicator of that because people can charge whatever they want, and neither is Amazon. But
Right.
I mean, like look on sites like Action Figure 411 and just kind of see what it's worth. Or I'm sure there's like a site for that for like Pop Funkos and Legos. It's different because you can't really resell it as easily as some other stuff. But like to know the value is important, especially on specific figures. But I think we've talked about that topic enough. On to our next topic, such as the future of toy collecting. Kind of almost similar topic, but like things are changing in the toy community where obviously things aren't stocked as much in stores. A couple months ago, Pokemon cards, they took those out of stores because scalpers were buying them all up and kids couldn't buy them anymore. Like our adult collectors ruining the market for younger generations. I was in a comic shop, Ground Zero Comics, not that long ago, and I saw like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or whatever. I don't know, probably like 10, 12-year-olds. Not 10, 12-year-olds, but like 10 to 12-year-olds. Like they were still buying Pokemon cards. So the hobby's still alive for like younger
Right.
kids. Like adults though buying stuff up, trying to resell them and stuff like that, and kids can't get their hands on certain items, and whether it's action figures or cards or whatnot. I mean, I don't know what kids are really into these days. I don't know if like I don't think they're collecting as many toys as we did back in our day, but what is the future of toy collecting? Is there a future of toy collecting? Are kids just not interested in collecting toys anymore? Are they just more, concerned about virtual video games and apps and stuff like that? Will there be a next generation of collectors? Are adults ruining the hobby? Is it even worth even buying action figures in the like from the stores anymore? Are action figures even going to be in stores anymore? I mean, you got to ask yourself that, because if kids of the next generation, next upcoming generations aren't buying toys, there may not be a toy aisle anymore, and they might just switch it all online for adult collectors anyway. So that way they don't have to worry about keeping the stock shelf or the shelf stocked and restocking stuff. So I mean, off what I just said, Kyle, what do you think is the most likely possibility? But also, what's your opinion on what I just said?
I think there's a combination. I think people have apps, but people always have hobbies, whether it's models, Legos, all that stuff. It does seem like in a lot of ways action figures is kind of an adult collectible now, market wise. As far as cards go, I know during the pandemic it skyrocketed with people opening the card packs.
Yeah.
So I think that'll still be there as long as there's a market for it. I think people will always people will always enjoy every hobby, whether it's video games, models, action figures, Lego, etc.
And do you think like most of that will just be sold online eventually down the road as opposed to in stores?
Um, yeah, I think so because brick and mortar is so expensive.
Well, like you saw one time, one guy bought all the Marvel Legends from the store one time.
Yeah.
And to stop that, maybe you have just stuff like that only online, and then you limit the amount of people that can buy a certain amount of action figures at one time. So like that's what I'm thinking about, like the future of toy collecting and stuff like that. Is it really like, is it gonna switch to online, or is it going to, I think you're right though. I think I do agree with, like, kids will always, like there'll be a demand for models and action figures and stuff like that too, because there are people that get older and they get into the hobby, like they're looking for a new hobby, they get into action figure collecting, or maybe they just collect, like, maybe a certain, like maybe they only collect horror, or maybe they only collect NECA horror, or maybe they only collect Mezco horror, or maybe they only collect DC figures, or something like that, or DC McFarlane, or maybe they only collect NECA McFarlane, or I mean DC Mezco or something like that. So like, yeah, I think you're right. If people kind of focus on like little parts of collecting, like a certain line in a certain company, or a certain license with a certain company, as long as they just collect maybe that, maybe like that'll, I think, save collecting as well. Like when you have people buying up Pokemon cards in stores and stuff like that, I think, I think it hurts the hobby, and it hurts, kids, because, kids, when you're collecting as a kid, you're at the mercy of, your parents buying you stuff, but also taking you to the store to look at stuff too. So
Right.
it's not like, as a kid you have a whole lot of options to, you know, get into a hobby, because you have to go to the store. You only go to the store when, your parents want to go to the store, or, and then only get something if your parents say yes, and stuff like that. But, um, I like, look, the best part about collecting for me is finding out what new releases come out and whatnot. I think that's really cool, and I'm really excited about that. But so you think it'll all go online eventually, mostly, like, the Target and the Walmart stuff?
I think so. I think a lot more of it will, just because it's cheaper, it's more efficient. Someone can just rent a warehouse, and
Yeah,
or it might even be a little combination.
yeah. We'll see. The future toy collecting is up in the air. It's now a little hard. People were still collecting toys even during COVID. Like they
Right.
still went in the stores and like, oh yeah, screw it, I'm still going. I'm still going, like, to collect stuff, but also,
Me.
yeah, like I care about my figures more than my own personal health, but and the health of others. But like at the same time, it's like also you have the shipping problem, going on right now, and then you also have, like, as if they weren't bad enough before. Now it's going to be even worse and backed up, and people, you're talking about like people not getting Christmas gifts on time now. But um, I'm getting back into like ornament collecting now, and they said some of the stuff's backed up, but it's all been pretty lucky, and it's been arriving on time. So certain things are certain things, but all right, that will conclude. Unless you have anything to add.
No. COVID was when I found that Crimson Dynamo, and I went in there to get some groceries and found the whole wave, and it was pretty much, and it was great. And I got my Crimson Dynamo, and then I sold the rest of the figures because I mostly just needed to build the figure, because I ended up, what was it? I sold the Black Widow to you, and then I sold a couple of the other figures to others.
Titanium Man, have you found him yet?
I have not, but Big Bad Toy Store just got him back in stock.
There is one or two of them at the Strongsville Mall. Just letting you know.
Really?
They're expensive. They're like 30 some, I think, around $30 some, or 20 some. It was it's either $20 to $30, but just letting you know. All right, so that concludes our episode 21 of Talking Toys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Find out about our latest updates on Facebook, and also listen to us on SoundCloud. Look out for our new short. It'll be about Zany Brainy. It'll be about the history of Zany Brainy. I'm working on that right now. I am getting back into editing more videos. More content is on the way. I do promise. It was just I know it was a long delay, but I life choices and decisions and stuff like that came up. Life happened. But we're back. We're doing podcast again. We're making little video shorts. I will also be doing a live stream, but I'm not sure when. Just doing a quick like look over on the Marvel Legends Sentinel. Just giving you my thoughts on that, what that'll look like. It'll just be a live stream, just what do I like about it, what I don't like about it. Because it's a very different figure. It's exclusive. It's a big deal. Just delve into the figure, the box, and what it comes with. And I mean, I know a lot of people did all, but it'll be pretty brief. I mean, I'm not looking to make like an hour live stream about it. But also, if you have any questions during the live stream, I'm happy to answer. Want to hear from you. What do you like? What do you dislike about collecting toys? But also, what do you think the future of collecting will be? Comment below. And also, maybe talk about you as a collector. Give us a little summary on that, maybe in the comments. Where are you at in collecting and stuff like that? And we'll be back next month for our next episode. And our next episode, our topic should be, what should we talk about?
Stay tuned.
All right, well, we'll let you know what our next episode will be about. It'll be a surprise. But like my co-host Kyle just said, stay tuned. We're back, and so closing out this segment here. Like I said, make sure to follow us on our social media channels, and follow us on SoundCloud, Facebook, and YouTube. And on YouTube, we're under the Talking Toys podcast channel. I'm Brock Lauer.
I'm Kyle Walters.
And may your figures never fall over.